Rally car superstar Ken Block tragically died January 2nd, 2023 in a tragic snowmobile accident in Utah. At 55 years old, he amassed a $200 million automotive empire and inspired people like me and you to reach higher. This is Ken's story.
Hello there, Ken Block here.
I'm Claire from hotcars.com. Not knowing much about rally driving, you might be driven to think that Ken Block is so well known and rich and celebrated as a rally driver because he was the best driver out there. But that's not exactly the truth. In what may be an attempt to show that he could compete in the hyper-competitive, barely Group A Rally Cups of the early 90s, number 43 drove his 1991 Group A Ford Escort RS Cosworth. This was for an American Rally Association sanctioned event which took place in the New England Forest Rally in Maine. He was running third in the race with the help of his co-driver Alex Giassomino when tragedy struck on a tight left-hander. After encountering some difficulty shifting heading into the corner, Block got a little too close to the inside of the corner, hitting a rock that sent his 27-year-old rally car rolling. Flames forced Block and Giassomino out of the car, and the beloved classic rally vehicle quickly burned to a crisp. Block tweeted, "Carcane, it's one hell of a drug." Here's a picture of him standing in front of his burned Cosworth. Ken Block is by no means a bad driver. Most of his podium success could be attributed to his willingness to take risks. There is a concept in rallying called attrition, or driving fast slowly so you can make it to the end. This is driving at 8/10 more often than 10/10, which Block had trouble with throughout his career. The best rally drivers in the world are, arguably, Carlos Sainz Sr., worth $8 million, Tommy Mäkinen, worth $35 million, Juha Kankkunen, worth $11 million, Sébastien Ogier, worth $1.5 million, and Sébastien Loeb, worth $55 million. So how did Ken Block separate himself financially from the pack by such a large margin without being the sport's actual driving alpha dog? The FIA purse numbers range from $5,000 to $20,000. So to become a millionaire in charge of millions of dollars worth of equipment, like Ken Block's $357,000 Ford Fiesta hybrid function Hoon vehicle, or his $1 million Hyundai i20N WRC Rally 1 car, you need sponsorship or a large amount of personal funds. Ken Block had both. Fame buys sponsorship, and Ken's fame comes from not leaving his fame opportunities to the raving media outlets. So, Block founded his motorsport company, Hoonigan Industries, a lifestyle brand for auto fanatics. In early 2010, he formed his own rally team called Hoonigan Racing Division, or HRD. HRD branched off to yet another profit-making spin-off called Hoonigan Media Machine, which creates fun content, specifically videos for the fans. Extreme stunts, inner quirks, and how-to videos of the racing team and Block's signature donuts formed the series The Gymkhana Files, which went viral. You even have Kardashian-style reality TV moments like when he broke his wife's blue 1975 Bronco, or when he and his team built a Vanilla Ice-inspired Fox Body 5.0 drop-top Mustang for his daughter's 14th birthday. You gotta be rich to be able to build a car based on the lesser-known Vanilla Ice song Rolling in My 5.0.
Rolling in my 5.0.
Block sponsors could also send representatives to his shows where they could advertise their logos. Like any popular sporting event, the Gymkhana Files are a parade of logos, making it an infomercial with burnouts and drifts. This show also helped bring rallying to mainstream America. Over 500 million YouTube views later, Block was at some point or another sponsored by Monster Energy Drink, Falcon, Bosch, K&N, Formula Drift, DA, Drift Alliance, Alpine, GoPro, and ASD. He was once with Subaru and had recently parted ways with Ford after an 11-year collaboration to come back to Subaru. And most recently, he was racing a Hyundai. He also signed with Audi to promote an electric future. You've surely seen the $12 million Gymkhana Audi S1 Hoonitron they developed together. We're all going to miss those Gymkhana videos with Ken sliding around the closed streets of LA, San Francisco, New York, China, and London in the Ford Hoonigan fleet. Money begets more money and fame begets more fame. Block's team up with Mobile One to create the 1,400 horsepower Porsche 911 Hooni Pegasus brought him a lot of attention. The promo race in Barbados when he pushed his Ford Fiesta ST against Lewis Hamilton's F1 got a ton of eyes. His wild ride was Jay Leno, the Baja 1000 trophy truck run, the East Africa safari run with Porsche, all things that kept his name in our mouths, his face in our minds, and kept us buying what he was selling. But what was Block really selling? $99 sweaters that say, "Just don't die"? Car crashes where the drivers walked away? That's all connected to something larger that's so much more valuable. And in the same way the Kardashians push a bougie socialite lifestyle, the Blocks push a more extreme, live in the moment kind of lifestyle. Who was Ken Block before his Gymkhana success? Born on the 21st of November 1967 in California, Ken started his career as a draftsman, but quickly realized that the career of an architect didn't appeal to him. Ken loved the art and the process of creating them, but hated making a business out of it. According to an interview with the Economic Times, Ken was not excited about the idea of needing decades of hard-earned experience necessary to climb to the top in that business. He quit his drafting job and tried snowboarding for a little while in Colorado. Needing to support himself financially, Ken returned to California and started designing equipment for sports stores frequently visited by professional athletes. He did this while attending Palomar College. During a community class, Ken met Damon Way. The fast friends kickstarted a series of startups including Blunt Magazine, 8-Ball Clothing, which shut down due to copyright infringement, Type A Snowboards, and Draws Clothing. In 1993, Ken and Damon founded DC Shoes in Ken's garage, which was in essence Draws Clothing Part 2. Receiving $10,000 from Block's parents, Ken and Damon grew the business to where it made $1.5 million in its first year. This was also in great part thanks to Danny Way, Damon Way's famous skateboarding brother, who helped with marketing by doing skateboarding tricks in the DC Shoes ads. They made $7 million in revenue just 2 years later in 1995 and over $100 million in sales by 2004. They sold the now famous clothing to Quicksilver for a total of $87 million in 2004, and Quicksilver pushed DC Shoes to generate over $1 billion in revenue since. In 2005, Block, aged 36, began his career as a professional rally driver. What's really unusual about Block's switch to pro rally driver is that 36 is usually the age drivers think about retiring, not starting their career. It's one of the most inspiring parts of his story. While most of us shudder at change, Ken embraced it. Block took this left turn into pro driving after hearing of rallying in the US from Travis Pastrana, a friend and a DC motorsport athlete. They've actually squared off against each other in events like the Nitro Cross Rally, and Travis has actually taken over the Gymkhana event. At Gymkhana 2022 in Fort Lauderdale, Travis headlined the event with an 862 horsepower Subaru wagon, despite his Florida base jumping accident. Ken continued to promote DC Shoes as its brand vision leader, with stunt videos online. To strive to win at any cost with zero mechanical sympathy or regard for one's well-being. #AintCare. Here's what you'll see on the wall at the Hoonigan Racing headquarters in Park City, Utah. Ken proved over the years that his goals transcend the fear for comfort and safety, and he had many near brushes with death over his 30-plus year career. He kept things like the roof vent from a crash as a trophy. He had 2 big crashes racing the GRC in Barbados. He treated his crashes in the real world the way most of us treat our crashes in video games, just a rehearsal for success. In 2020, Ken broke his own personal curse and scored the double victory at Rally Barbados behind the wheel of a brand new, untested M Sport Ford Fiesta Rally Mark II. His best performance has come rather late in his career. In 2022, at 55 years old, his American Rally Association title chase was nothing short of brilliant, even though, spoiler alert, he finished second. At the beginning of 2022, Ken switched from the long wheelbase 2300cc Vermont sports car built Subaru STI rally car to the short wheelbase 1600cc Hyundai i20 WRC rally car from a company called 2C Competition out of France. He slid off the course and hit a tree with his rear end in the 100-acre wood race stage in Missouri, hit a deer which split the oil line and kept the car temporarily stuck in 4th gear, and had a terrifying 12G impact collision with a tree at the Olympus race stage in Washington. It was his performance at the 5th stage, the New England Forest Rally that runs in Maine and New Hampshire, that was a true piece of masterful racing. He drove perfectly through the dust at over 100 miles an hour, and even though he lost the stage by 0.9 seconds, he and his team were tremendously proud of their accomplishments. During the course of the season, Block said, "Sometimes you win a lot more in a failure than you do in a win. And even though I truly hate these struggling moments, I like what it's helped me become." It's the mature attitude that people love about Ken Block. Ken Block is survived by his wife, 3 daughters, and one of the most unique personal car collections out there. The 1 of 200 1986 Ford RS200 he called his dream car, a 1978 Ford Escort MK2 RS, which is actually the car in the fleet he's had the longest, a 1994 Ford Escort RS Corsi V2, a 2017 SVC Off-Road Ford Raptor, a 2019 Can-Am Maverick X3X RS, a matte black 2017 Ford Raptor whose tires he's burnt into oblivion. His Ford Raptor Trax is the boy toy for making snowboarding vehicles. He had the 2017 Ford Super Duty F450 Laria, a 2020 Ford Explorer high-performance SUV, a factory 2017 Ford Focus RS, the all-wheel drive which he helped develop for Ford, a 2015 Ford Fiesta ST-RX43, and the most famous of the bunch is the 1965 Ford Mustang RTR, the Hoonigan. An unreal 1,400 horsepower with 1,250 foot-pound of torque, the 1.1 million custom drift car has been passed on to his daughter Leah, whom is expected to carry on her dad's legacy. Oh, and before I forget, the $1.1 million Hoonie truck is pretty famous itself. It's a 1977 Ford F-150 with 914 horsepower and with hand-hammered military-grade aluminum bodywork. Most of these cars are selectable in the Forza Horizon games and Need for Speed 2015, by the way. So with $10,000 from his parents, a great partner, and a grand marketing vision, Ken Block was able to believe himself to a $200 million fortune, sustainable businesses, a wildly fun lifestyle, and a racing career that started at an age when most drivers think of retiring. We'll miss your spirit, Ken, and may you drift forever in the clouds. I'm Claire from hotcars.com. Check out our website for the latest and greatest in automotive news, and make sure to tune in to our next video. Bye!